episode of Debate and Play of the real Boshqattan.
Answer this question. The last game, that's not questions.
Question.
Okay.
Boshqattan.
Question dedi. Siz hozir game götdi gel desem men ham.
Yo.
Bunaqa bo'lmasdi deb bo'lyapti.
Boshlaydi.
Boshqatdan 1 2 3 deganda boshlash deb qo'yinda, u instruktorlar turib beryapti. Tez sanam oldida bir xil unaqa haliga chalg'itmaydi odam.
Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Debate and Play, the show where we discuss different types of the real life topics, share ideas, and finish with a fun mini game. My name is Durshada.
And I am Malikia. Our goal is to make our discussions more fun, meaningful, and interactive, especially for students like us.
Yes, our today's topic is something that students wonders more.
Yes, is group study better than self-study?
Group study can motivate us and help with discussions, but self-study gives us focus and independence.
Yes, you are right, and to explore these both sides, we have invited another special guest to our podcast, one of the best and respected teachers of our institute, Ms. Dilraboxon Ahmadaliyeva. Assalomu alaikum, Ustaz, once again.
Wa alaykum assalom.
Welcome to our project.
Thank you for inviting.
Let's get started our discussion section. So I personally believe that group study is very helpful as it allows students share ideas and clarify the doubts. So then the first question, teacher. Do you think group study helps students understand difficult topics better?
I agree. The group study usually helps students understand a challenging topic because maybe when you read something or study something different or difficult, different minds might bring to the discussion different ideas, which can be helpful in understanding the whole topic.
However, self-study gives us freedom to focus at our own pace. So the next question, can self-study be more effective for memorization or some kind of complex subjects?
Self-study can be good at understanding the complex subject, I believe, because memorization usually doesn't have when you study hard or study independently. In my experience, memorization works or happens when I discuss something actively in the group, because there is even Chinese proverb, show me I forgot, tell me I forgot, involve me and I remember. I think that memorization works better when you discuss in the group, but the understanding works better when you study.
Group study can also be funny and motivate students as it improves the teamwork and collaboration. So then group study is all about teamwork and communication skills.
I agree with the statement that group work or group study can be fun. And I also know that working in group, it's a life experience. It's a real life experience. I think that is one of the reasons why we bring group activities in the classroom, because our main goal is to prepare students and learners for the future life. And in this term, it's one of the important skills, even to work in group, to get to know each other and to know how to be in the society.
Thank you so much.
But some groups can become a distraction if it's not organized well. So the next question, can group study sometimes waste time?
Absolutely. The group work, group study can be a waste of time if the members of the group or students who work on the group, they don't have the established rules. For example, established rules include the role of each member in the group. For example, the good group work needs a facilitator, the person who leads the discussion, and there should be agreement between all participants. There should be equal participation. There shouldn't be like one person speaks constantly and other just listen passively and without even giving comments. That is the culture, I think, culture of working groups. And I believe that students should get to use to this culture from early age, from secondary schools, I believe. For me, as a teacher, sometimes it's difficult to involve students in the group because they don't want, they don't like. They say, this is my opinion, it belongs to me. Why should I share it with someone else? And earlier is better. Earlier feeling this belonging to the group, I think it's good.
Thank you so much.
Self-study teaches students discipline and independence. So then that self-study makes students more responsible to their learning skills.
I think if the person ready with a discipline and ready to study by their own, then in that case it makes students to be more disciplined and responsible. And I think that self-study usually works much better when the person achieves a certain level of confidence and knowledge. Maybe from the very childhood, the whole family usually explains something to the child. And self-study, yes, helps students to be more disciplined, but it depends on the level of knowledge, I think.
Thank you so much for your response. So, self-study can sometimes feel lonely or some kind of less motivating. Next question, can self-study lead to procrastination if someone is not disciplined? What do you think about it?
It's a very good observation, I think. The self-study can be demotivating if the topic you're reading or the reading or whatever task you're involved is very challenging. It can be demotivating and you may get stuck and just give up the things you're doing.
So self-study can sometimes feel lonely or less motivating. Can self-study lead to procrastination if someone is not disciplined? What do you think about it?
I agree with this statement because if those students who study by their own, they do not follow, let's say, rules, the criteria or standard or deadlines. I would say they do not meet the deadlines. The self-study can be procrastination, or self-study sometimes can be demotivating because if you get stuck and don't understand the difficult things, then you can lose your self-esteem, things like that. But you know that if you choose self-study, you should know also to motivate yourself. So the psychologist says that sometimes if you get stuck, you need to change your things you're doing, the subject, or you need to go to chat with your friends even, so that you should know where you get stuck and how to find the motivation for yourself. Sometimes it can be even music or watch your favorite movie, but you should keep the balance, not to spend too much on this.
Yes, thank you.
Sometimes combining both of them is the best. Sometimes combining both is the best. So then, is the mix of the group study and self-study more effective?
Yes, absolutely. The mixture of both self-study and group study can be very effective. As I already mentioned that before coming to the group discussion, you should be aware about what's going to be discussed and what the topic will be raised in the discussion. So this kind of things should be studied at home first. And when you come, you can bring some ideas of your own. In my experience, because I have some teaching experience and working in groups, sometimes I can come without any preparedness, but if you're a learner, it's better not to take a risk and be prepared for the group discussion. And in this way, can be very effective. But again, I will point out that combining of these two is very important, not only in university study, in real life as well. There are some topics you can study by your own rather than spending time on group discussion. You can go and find something in the Google. But the things you cannot cope alone. it is better to work in group.
But as we know, there are some students who often benefit only from group study. So do you think that group study helps students who struggle more than self-study?
This also can be true, because some students fail in working alone because they're not confident enough understanding, the text they're reading or the movie they're watching. They're always hesitating, they're not confident enough, and in this maybe point group discussion or doing something in the group can be a bit supportive and can build confidence of that student. And maybe in the future, if students work more in the group, then gaining a certain stage of knowledge or stage of confidence, the learner can be then involved in more self-study rather than group discussion.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Teacher, as you have just mentioned, self-study helps students gain the confidence when it comes to in their abilities. So then, can self-study make students more independent thinkers?
Yes, why not? That if the person or student involved in self-study, they can be with individual thinking. However, the person should be aware about social roles or be aware about social standards.
Yeah.
And if the person read good books, good material, that the person might already know, his subconscious usually notice this kind of things. Usually it comes implicitly when you understand the social standard. Now that I think it maybe the person can be more individual with good personality.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
But perhaps the choice depends on our personality and situation. So the last question of our debate section: how can students decide when to study in a group and when alone?
Good question, interesting question. How he or she can decide to work in group or individually. I think they need to practice, should have this experience working alone and working in group, and then the decision makes. Again, the students capable enough to choose if this is discussable or interesting topic, or it's for social discussion. So it can be group work. For example, project works, it's a group work activity rather than individual. But writing an article, for example, it's a mental process, and you need to work more individually rather than group discussion. But you can still bring the topic into the discussion to find new ideas, because different brains, different minds have different opinion. So we're not to use them in your article or in your piece of essay. That's why that first you need to go through this experience, do something, and then decide what to do instead of what.
Yes, thank you.
Now it's time our play section. Call it group or solo. So then, are you ready, teacher?
Yes, I am.
And here is how it works. We will describe a situation and you should say quickly group study or self-study, and why.
The first situation, preparing for the group presentation.
I think it's only group work. Group presentation, group work. But in the time when you need to prepare your part of your presentation, you can work alone at home when nobody listens to you, or far from anyone's eyes. Disruptions.
Yeah.
You can work individually.
So the second one, memorizing vocabulary or formulas.
Memorization. If it is very maybe difficult, I think it is self-study. But as we are doing together, playing games, memorization might happen while playing some games, especially words, because in English teaching and learning, there are a lot of vocabulary games. Through that activities, you can learn even better than repeating the words 100 or 200 times.
Yes.
And what about learning completely new topic?
Learning new topic. Well, it depends on the level of complexity. If it is too complex subject or topic, it should be learned in the classroom. I think that's why teachers are here to help and involve students in some group discussion. Or if it may be not very challenging, then you can study alone. But these days, with the development of the technology, there are a lot of things you can do by yourself.
Yeah.
You can go to the YouTube and check. There are a lot of lectures. And even without this discussion, you can develop this or learn some complex subjects and then discuss within the group. Again, it depends on the personality, so to what extent person wants to learn, and eagerness and readiness to learn by him or herself.
So the last one, studying late at night before an exam.
It's alone. Yes, when you at night study, it's mostly work alone.
Yes.
In my experience, I hardly remember when I studied at night time. It happened 1 or 2 times, but the exam I had, it was successful. But psychologists mostly urge do not study at night before the examination, because if the brain's under the stress and you don't have enough time to rest your brain, all the information which you have in your brain will disappear, will not come out. That's why the rule number 1, have a rest before the exam. And this should be individual work.
Yes, thank you.
So today we have learned that both methods have advantages.
Yes, as we mentioned earlier, group study helps us with discussions, teamwork, and motivation, while self-study builds our confidence, independence, and self-discipline.
So I agree with the idea that the best way how to choose to work in group or alone depends on the person, and it's his personality, her personality, or the level of readiness. And by practicing a lot, I think the real benefits then come out of working in groups or alone.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having
time.
me. It was so
Thank
nice,
you.
pleasure to meet you both. Thank you.
See you next time where we debate smart and play fair.